Hello again, friends, and welcome. This is my series on the pathway to success, and I'm Pastor Obinna Nkemjika. Our first series, we looked at setting clear goals. And on this series, we'll go further to how to set these goals. What are the variables you need to look at to set these goals? Because quite a lot of times, people don't know how to set their goals. They know setting goals is fundamental to success. But what they don't know is how to set those clear goals. There is no one anywhere who succeeds by luck or by chance. So it's important for you to understand that setting clear goals, not just goals, setting clear goals is the pathway to success. We were able to look at primary goals and secondary goals in our first series. The primary goal is the one set by God, your core assignment, what God has sent you on earth to accomplish. And your secondary goals are the smaller goals that you set towards the pursuit of the primary goal, which is the main goal. Because whatever you do here that does not please God or does not meet God's plan for your life ultimately means that you have failed. So the primary goal is the main goal. However, the secondary goals are goals, little goals you set to help you achieve the primary goal. So the question now is, how do you set clear goals? What are the things you need to do to set clear goals? Number one is that you must have a clear vision. No one can arrive at a place he can't see clearly. That's why once a driver has a blurry vision, he can no longer drive. And that's why the most important test for a driver to take a driving career is his mind. If he's stable in the mind, and his eyes, his sight, can he see clearly? Because once you can't see, then you can't drive. And once you can't drive, you can't get to your destination. So as far as success is concerned, you can't arrive at a place you can't clearly see. Not just see, but clearly see. One of the first steps to setting clear goals is having a clear vision, having an elaborate vision. What, in clear terms, do you want to achieve? It could be a dream, it could be anything, but it must be clear. It must be clear that this is what you want. From inside of you, you must have settled it that this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. You must visualize what your vision is and visualize your success. In clear terms, this must be a picture. You must see yourself laughing at the end of the year, having achieved what you want to achieve. You must see it clearly that once this is achieved, you will be fulfilled. You must be clear. What do you want to achieve in different areas of your life? What does success really mean to you? What can you have now and you say you are successful? For some people, success to them is getting married, settling down in their marriages or in their husband's house or with their wives. For them, that is fulfillment. For them, that is success. For you, it could be a financial goal, saying you want to hit a target of 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, whatever it is. As much as it settles in your inside, that's the beginning. You must visualize your success. And very importantly, under this section, you must write it down. The Bible speaking in Habakkuk chapter 2, it says, write the vision and make it plain that you may run that readeth it. In other words, make your vision clear. A vision that you cannot document is a vision that you have buried. The success you have visualized, same way you have visualized it, same way you must put it down in writing. Once you document it, it begins to hold you accountable. Every time you look at it, you know you owe yourself this status in life. So it's important that it is documented. Visualize your success and document it in any way you can. Pictorially, that's using pictures, diagram, whatever. but make sure it's clear and make sure it's documented. You see, you must not get the documentation perfect for a start. Document it in any way you feel you have expressed what success is to you. Number two is that after visualizing the success and documenting it, then you have to set what we call SMART goals. We use that word or acronym SMART, SMART, and it has meanings. For me, initially, I just believed that anybody could just succeed by faith. And that's what many believers are going through now. They just believe by faith, I will succeed. The thing is, what they see as success is business explosion, increase in profit. What they fail to understand is that over time, what they discover is they hit a major deal, hit a major profit, and they are back to where they were. And again, they are believing God and praying for another major hit. They hit and they are back. You hardly find someone successful, counting every year better than the previous, irrespective of the fluctuations and uncertainties in the economy and in the country. But you see them, they can tell you, this was where we were last year, this is where we are now, this is where we are going to. You can see a progressive trend in their business, in their family, in their career, and everything they do, even in their health. But when these SMART goals are not set, pursuit becomes frustration. What do I mean by SMART goals? The first one is that the goal must be specific. Remember, we came from setting goals, setting clear goals. And now on this episode, I'm looking at how to set the goals. And I said, number one, you have to have clear vision and visualize your success and then write it down. But how is it supposed to be? Make sure it is specific. Don't just set bloated goals. I want to be rich. In how many figures? You want to be rich. Specify it. You see, many people don't look at this aspect. So that's why at the end of the day, they are frustrated. Not just even frustrated, they are overwhelmed. And then they begin to feel underachieved, inferior, and even most times begin to attempt to commit suicide because they feel, why am I not there? Because these goals are not specific. When your goals are not specific, they become vague. You don't know where you are going. I just want to be rich. Rich in what? And rich by how much? So you are not, the goals are not specific. I want to marry next year. Next year when? Okay, so you must be specific. I want to open a business. What kind of business? Where do you want the business to be sited or located? It must be specific. Whatever has no specification has no identity. Number two in that acronym, you remember we said you must set SMART goals. Number one there is specific. Number two is that it's measurable. It must be measurable. How do you know you have achieved it? So we are looking at using figures at this time. If I get this, I know I have achieved. So it must be measurable. How do you measure that you have succeeded financially this year? Okay, I must have saved X amount, let's say 5 million naira in social account, 10 million in social account, put in 15 million in social business. So it must be measurable, clearly measurable. And if you're talking about being married, health, what do you want to achieve? How much weight do you want to cut or downsize? It must be measurable. Try as much as you can to measure it. I must read 50 books this year. Clear. The goals are clear. You must read books and it's measurable. Make sure that whatever you are documenting is measurable. That way, you know when you are about to get there or when you are not getting there. The next acronym there is A, which means achievable. Many people set goals that are not achievable. These goals are so vague, not even vague, oversized. You see someone who has never counted a million saying, I just want to hit 500 million, 1 billion. It's not achievable. following the resources around you. So what you want to look at is, can I reach this? So yes, motivational speakers will tell you, oh yes, set big goals. That's where you are going to, but you must break it down. Remember, we talked about secondary goals. That's why many youths today are frustrated, because the goals are not achievable. They are goals that are just bloated, and they just lay on the person's imagination. And all he sees, I'm not there. And when things become oversized, they overweigh you. It becomes a burden. If you don't want your goals to become a burden, make them achievable. I know that with what I have, with the way I'm working, if I discipline myself to save, I'm going to achieve this. So you can't be earning a salary of 50,000 naira, and you're setting a goal of becoming a billionaire in that same year. It will be deceit to yourself. So many people set goals that are not achievable. Someone who is still in school wants to get married and says so time, and looking at it, both financially, you've not met a guy, and you say you want to get married within the next 2 weeks. It's not achievable. It's not. We know faith, okay? But the Bible also says, who is it that want to build a house or build a castle that will not first sit down to count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it? So by so doing, he does not finish it, and it becomes an object of mockery. So your goals must be not just clear, not just specific, not just measurable, but achievable. Is it something you can reach? Is it something that is available? So it's very important, because you go from the known to the unknown. So your goals must be clearly achievable. Now, what is the R? It must be relevant, meaningful, and significant to you. Your goals must not be someone else's goal. It must be relevant. This is what I want to achieve. It must be relevant. That is, what is it adding to you? What is it adding to the society? Very important. And finally, we have time, which is the T. It must be time bound. Between now and the next 2 weeks, between now and the next 2 months, between now and the next 3 months. Many people just set goals. Wow, I know I will get there. When? What time helps you to do it, that it helps you stay accountable. It helps you stay focused. When time is off, you are not accountable. Whatever has no timeline will lead to procrastination. There won't be urgency. And that's why many youths are suffering today. They set goals that are not timed, so they procrastinate a lot. You see, if you want to kill procrastination, set time. And that's what the Bible said. There is time for everything. For you to finally add the icing on the goals you have set, you must break it down. Identify milestones. Because if you don't, then it will overwhelm you. In other words, there must be stop ages. Points where you get to and say, okay, I've gotten to this side. Now let's start this. For instance, you're going to a particular destination and you have to pass 4 bus stops. You see, when you get to one, at least, okay, I have 3 more bus stops. Oh, when you get to the second, okay, I have 2 more bus stops. So you are encouraged. So the same way you set those milestones, when I get to this point, to this point, to this point, to this point, like if you set your goals for a day, you can say, okay, when I achieve this, I take a 1-hour nap. And then finally, after setting up this milestone, you set up call to action. You set up an action plan. Create an action plan. What you must do. Plans without action is like playing without knowing. Plans without acting on it is like dreaming without waking up. So you have to have an action plan where to start from in terms of taking real steps, life steps. Okay? You have set these goals. What is your number 1 step? You want to get married this year. What's your number 1 step? I have to engage in 7 days prayer. I have to make a search. I have to talk to this person. I have to go to this place. And when I find her, I have to meet my pastor. You set out action plans. They must be well documented as well. You see, success does not happen by luck. I'm not saying that you following all these, there could be some that you will need to get from somewhere, add up from somewhere else to hit it. But in general, these are the clear-cut steps that is required for you to have a life of success. First is understand that you need to set goals, clear goals. And what we did today is to teach you how to set them. And we say you begin by setting up your vision, making it clear, setting up or visualizing what success is to you, where you are going to, document it, and then make it smart. Set up the SMART goals, which has to do with being specific, making the goals measurable, make it achievable, make sure it is relevant to you. It's not just something that is vague. Make sure it's relevant and make sure it is timed. You put it under time so you don't procrastinate. And afterwards, you break it down into achievable goals, break it down in a way you set up milestones. You level it up by creating an action plan. I mean to say, where do you start? What step do you need to take first? And as you do so, you're on the path to success. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on all other social media platforms. There, you're able to see tips as we go. I love you all, and I'm your success coach. I'm bringing you to that place where you find joy and fulfillment. Remain blessed.